Hey, everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show and tell you about Noom. Has Noom helped you? I believe it has.
Oh, that's got an app. You can do tracking. It's terrific.
It does. And Noom builds personal plans that can meet individual needs. That's the thing. Takes into account any dietary restrictions, medical issues, other personal needs. That helps build a plan that works for you. And yes, so I know that you've had your own personalized program here that you've been working on. And
it's weight loss This is weight loss results that last. They stick around because you get yourself into a lifestyle change. That's what matters.
That's mainly it. You can't just say, I'm going to cut that out for a month and then go back to it. That's not what it is. So I'm glad it's helping you. That's great. And it really does. I like the psychology and biology-based approach here. Yeah. Noom Weight uses psychology. That's why they say losing weight starts with your brain, but it also takes into account your unique biological factors, Jimmy. All of your multitude flora and fauna that goes on inside of you there. Sure. Yeah. Stay focused on what's important to you with Noom's psychology and biology-based approach. Sign up for your trial today at Noom.com, Noom.com here, based on 3.5-year study of actively engaged Noom users with minimum starting BMI of 25. Individual results may vary. Visit our website for more information. Hey, everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you a little bit more about Rocket Money. It's the start of a new year. It's the perfect time to get organized, set your goals, prioritize what matters most. And for me, top priority is getting myself together here. Financial wellness, doing that, which that feels important, just feels like adult stuff that you have to do. And thanks to Rocket Money, my goals feel achievable now. They show me all my subscriptions in one place, help me easily cancel ones I forgot that I've been paying for, which happened to me, absolutely happened to me. For years, I was paying for something. I was like, what is going on here? Rocket Money found it and saved me lots of money since then, because it's been a while. So they did a great job here. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that helps find and cancel your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps lower your bills so you can grow your savings. Rocket Money has over 5 million users and has saved a total of $500 million in canceled subscriptions, saving members up to $740 a year when using all the app's premium features. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions and reach your financial goals faster with Rocket Money. Go to rocketmoney.com/smalltownmurder today. That's rocketmoney.com/smalltownmurder. rocketmoney.com/smalltownmurder.
Now back to the show.
Welch's knows some things make zero sense, like why the algorithm knows your music tastes better than you do. But zero sugar and full flavor? We made that make sense with new Welch's Zero Sugar. All that passion fruit or tropical punch goodness and none of the sugar. You gotta sip it to get it. New Welch's Zero Sugar. Let's fruit stuff up.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Small Town Murder Express.
Yay, and choo-choo!
Oh, yay indeed, Jimmy. Yay indeed. My name is James Pietragallo. I'm here with my co-host.
I'm Jimmie Whisman.
Thank you, folks, so much for joining us today on another really insane episode of Small Town Murder Express. We say we pack it in tight here, and this one is no exception. An absolutely wild story. We will get to all that. Before we do, though, just want to say, shutupandgivememurder.com is where you get tickets for live shows. The whole 2024 schedule is not only out, it is available, and
it's all on sale.
It's going fast. So even if, let's say you want to go to Boston in December, get your tickets now. I know that sounds weird, but they're more than they're a lot gone right now. Yeah. There's a lot of them gone. So get in there, get your tickets. We will be in San Francisco, Sacramento, Austin, Phoenix, Kansas City, Oklahoma City, Minneapolis, Milwaukee, Nashville, Durham, Terrytown, which is outside of New York. If you're from that area, you know that. And then Boston. That's it. 12. We're not adding any more. That's what we're doing. So get your tickets now.
Done.
We can't wait. Shutupandgivememurder.com. Also, lots of new merch up, too. So get in there, get all that kind of stuff, and do that. Patreon.com/crimeinsports is where you get all the bonus material.
And there's tons, yeah.
Tons. A couple hundred bonus episodes you will get immediately upon subscription. Anybody $5 a month or above, you get all that. And, of course, you get new episodes every other week. This week, no exception, for Crime and Sports. You're gonna get one Crime and Sports, one Small Town Murder. You get them all. For Crime and Sports, we're going to talk about really interesting subject here. Players with disabilities. There's been a lot of players in all sports throughout history that have had some stuff that are think Jim Abbott. If you don't know Jim Abbott, he's a major league pitcher with one hand. He has one. He puts the glove over on his stump, and he switches it back once he pitched. He pitched a no-hitter. It's incredible. Like, he pitched for years. He's a really good pitcher. Yeah. So guys like that we'll talk about. And then for Small Town Murder, because she just got released, and God, is it the most crazy, interesting story. We're going to talk about Gypsy Rose Blanchard a bit, and especially about the videos and the interrogations. The interrogations with her and her boyfriend at the time are crazy. And now that she got released and we'll talk about her new boyfriend too, which is a hilarious little cherry on top of that. Oh, yeah. He's got the best license plate in the world.
She's dating?
Oh, yeah. It's in there. We'll talk all about it.
Oh, my God.
Patreon.com/crime and sports. We'll talk about all of her Dr. Pepper. We'll talk about all of it.
What are we going to talk about? Casey Anthony's fucking OBGYN appointment next?
You know what? Maybe. It's possible.
What's her favorite prenatals? Jesus Christ.
I'll get him or her on here, and we'll give it a little chat. So.
Unbelievable.
And you get a shout out at the end of the regular show as well. So that said, let's get right into this. I think it's time, everybody, to sit back. Let's all clear the lungs, arms to the sky, and let's all shout. Shut up and give me murder. Let's do this, everybody. What do you say, Jimmy? Let's go on a trip.
Yep.
We're going to Oregon. Let's do this.
Hey.
Yeah, we're going out on the West Coast again here. Checking out Oregon. This is Colton, Oregon. Colton, Colton, Oregon. Yep. It's in northwestern Oregon, about 50 minutes outside of Portland. So, but it is rural. Let me tell you something. This is
oh, my God, an hour outside of anything on the West Coast is nothingness.
There's nothing out there. This is 2 hours also to Alsea. Is that how you say it, I think? That is probably our last episode, which I can't remember because it was a while ago, so I don't remember how to say it. But episode 407, which was a fun one, Attempted Threesomes, Russian Brides, and Time Travel. That was the one where the guy Googled how to time travel and fix this after he murdered somebody. So you got to check that episode out if you never heard it. He's like, how do I not be a murderer? He went to Reddit and said, anybody got any time travel ideas, how to fix some shit?
You can't unfuck this.
This is wild. It was all fucked out. So population of this town, 3,392. So pretty small town.
Oh, it's tiny.
It's a small town. Median household income here is a little higher than the national average, $86,250. Okay. And you're going to need it because the median home price here is $602,100. So,
what?
It's a lot of big properties. That's the thing. It's a lot of people that own a lot of acreage is how this works.
Wow.
Yeah. History of this town. I don't think we've ever said this before. It's a historically Swedish town.
Is that
outside of Minnesota? Have we ever said anything about Sweden?
Very interesting.
Swedish people. It's because of the logging. I guess Swedish people, when logging first started in this country,
you got to make the shoes.
They were the loggers, the Swedes, I guess, and so they came out there, and it was a small community and still is a small community. There's only about 6 churches in town, about a half a dozen churches. 0 taverns in the town, 0 bars.
Not one.
1 tavern 4 miles outside of town.
What?
That's it. That's not a lot. There's 1 grocery store, and it's not in this town. It's in the next town over, which we'll talk about, which is about 10 miles away.
Okay.
There's nothing around here. This is what I mean.
What is that about?
Extremely rural. It has turned into a big place to get Christmas trees from now. Christmas trees are a big deal here, where they used to have these family rural farms. Now they're big giant Christmas tree farms. And they said that only downtown Colton has public water. Otherwise, it's all wells. But the wells are so good here. They're so clean. that people say that everybody that goes there, it's this clean, cold water that comes from these wells. And everybody says it makes bottled water taste like shit. It's like delicious and sweet and good. Yeah.
Huh.
So that's nice. The air is very clean around here. It's that sort of thing. They have a local butte here, which is 4,000 feet. So that's high.
Shit, damn.
That's called Goat Mountain.
Okay.
Probably goats on there at some point. Now, reviews of this town, these are for, God, how do you say this again? Estacada, I think you say it. Hold on. I have it right here. I am not going to fuck this up because I looked it up and made sure I knew the pronunciation.
It's not Estacada?
Estacada. That's how you say it. Estacada is this town that's some of the story is going to take place in a very prominent part of the story. And here's some reviews of that town because there's none for Colton because it's too small. So
That's small.
Here's 5 stars, and this one's small too. There's one grocery store in Estacada, so it's not like it's a thriving metropolis. 5 stars. Growing up in Estacada, I couldn't wait to get out. I felt trapped. There was never enough to stimulate me, and I felt like my dreams were much bigger than anything it could ever offer.
5 stars?
5 stars. There's more.
Whoa.
He revisits it, or she revisits
This place
it.
is a piece of shit. 5 stars.
5 stars. I couldn't wait to get out. It crushed my soul and any desires I had for the future.
What?
Wow. It wasn't until recently, moving back, that I realized that this vast evergreen prison was my home. Evergreen prison. 5 stars.
I deserve this.
5 stars. I used to dread running into someone I knew at the local grocery store or gas station until I noticed that small talk is much more than common casualties. It's a slower way of life than the big city. Everyone is invested in the community and shows up to the high school football games. Yikes.
Oh.
Neighbors wave when you're out for a walk with your dog, and everyone shows up for the summer celebration on Main Street in June. Estacada is much more homely than small town with a single stoplight. It's warm comfort you can run back to when the rest of the world feels a bit too cold. It sounds like a Hallmark commercial.
Yeah, but I'm also fascinated with how much they love it.
They hated it. Then they realized, oh wait, no, I like the fact that there's nothing here. I
deserve an evergreen prison.
Evergreen prison. Here is 3 stars.
Right.
Estacada, Oregon's a quiet small town near a river and the forest. The town itself is okay, but not the greatest place to be if you want things to do. No, there is nothing going on here.
Nothing.
Besides swimming in the river, there isn't anything to do in this small town and not many people to hang out with. Swimming in the river, river swimming. Okay, that's all there is to do. The school system is not great and seems to be a bit behind. Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, the sophomores in high school are 27, so they're a bit behind. The commute time to get to any jobs outside of Estacada can take anywhere from 45 minutes to an hour and a half, which commonly wastes gas. The jobs also tend to be hard to get in this small town for anyone who is new and doesn't have many friends in the residents. That's a small town. The benefit to this small town is that there isn't any dangerous crime, and it's quiet. There you go. Okay. And then finally, quickly, 3 stars. Crime in this small, quaint town does occur, but does not seem to interrupt daily lives. So no one bothers you while you're grocery shopping to show you some crime. This is not a dangerous place to live. Most crimes involve drugs and not violence. Police are actively on duty along with our fire department, both of which respond to emergencies in a timely manner. That's helpful.
Great.
Things to do here. The Love Oregon Festival. Okay, Love Oregon. Oregon. So like it's a town in Oregon.
Got it.
Yeah. They have a spectacular celebration of Oregon's music, food, and nature in the serene setting of Camp Colton. So that's in Colton here. I guess they get a bunch of farmers and they get local food and they have like a kind of a local food display, I guess. Thing. Also, here's the schedule for it. My goodness, they have an art bus. I don't know what the hell that means.
Okay.
3 to 4 p.m. on day 1, and on the Sanctuary Meadow is a, quote, open jam session. I don't know what the fuck that means.
I don't like that.
I don't like that at all. That sounds like 18 different guitars playing different songs. I don't like that.
That sounds very unorganized and abuse to my ears.
A mess. At 5:45, though, everybody, get your cameras. It's Kids Ring the Bell.
Oh.
I don't know what that is, but finally headlining. Well, they have 2 musical performances at the end of the night. A band called Glitter Fox. They'll be there.
Nope.
Followed by an open jam session. So then you can join in, play some of the great songs.
Glitter Fox and the Amateurs.
Yeah,
All right, let's get after it.
That's how it's going to work right here. Also, the Lisa Lipton Classical Trio will be there. Yeah, I don't know what the hell that's all about. And Wonderly will be there. And also the Tyrone Hendrix Band. And Hendrix is spelled like Jimi Hendrix with an X.
Oh, okay.
Tyrone Hendrix. Different than...
It's a lot of people in leather lace-up shoes.
Hey, Jimmy, it's your cousin Tyrone. It's like the Back to the Future thing. I got something for you. A walk. Then they have a Miracle Forest Walk, which is a walk through the woods barefoot, which just sounds dangerous.
No.
I like my shoes, and I'm keeping them on in the woods. Thank you. That's okay. Don't miss Sunday's gospel brunch either. That's the other thing you can't miss.
Oh, my God.
That said, let's talk about a murder. What do you say here?
Yeah, this is why you can't pin down the Pacific Northwest.
You
they
have
will
no
be
idea.
So different all the time.
Yeah.
And you're not going to like any of it.
Well, they'll be in the same park. There'll be like 40 people doing yoga together while a militia also trains next to them. Like it's a very, that's Oregon. It's, you know what I mean? It's a weird place.
Well, they field strip their gun.
Yeah, it's a field stripping class. It's a state of extremes, really. Is one or the other. So let's do this here. Let's talk about a murder. Let's go back to Mother's Day 2017.
Okay, not so long ago.
Not so long ago. Mother's Day, what, 7 years ago now?
March?
Yeah.
April? When is
May.
it?
It's May. It's like May 15th.
Is it May?
Yeah, depending. Whatever Sunday is in the middle of May there is when they do it. So Mother's Day 2017, a 911 call comes from the grocery store. At 2:14 p.m. So it's Mother's Day in the middle of the afternoon. Couldn't be more middle of the afternoon. And this is what is it? Estacada's only grocery store. It's called the Harvest Market Thriftway.
Oh, Harvest Markets are nice.
Harvest Market Thriftway, only grocery store in town.
Okay.
911 call comes in, and they said a customer. The first 911 call says a customer saw a man covered in blood screaming and running out of the store.
Hell yeah.
So that seems like something that the police should be made aware of. Yeah, that's out of the grocery store. Another witness described him, said, no, he came into the store, obviously had to come in to leave.
Yeah.
Came into the store covered in blood.
He came in this way.
He came in this way, covered in blood.
Showed up.
Holding an 8-inch kitchen knife in one hand.
Yeah.
And that's a bloody 8-inch kitchen knife. And by the way, that's the least terrifying thing he's carrying.
Oh, God.
He is carrying in his other hand, by the hair, a severed human head.
Yeah. Well, I mean, nobody thought that you were going to say anything else.
I mean,
you said by the hair.
It could have been a penis. It could have been a...
the tuft.
If he walked in with a severed dick, would you be surprised? It's episode 454. A severed dick walking into a grocery store going, I bought this 3 days ago and it was spoiled.
Holding it by the hair.
Yeah. I have my receipt. I'd like to return it. That would be while blood streams from his fucking genitals, you know? Yeah. While blood streams from his...
It's just
it's a head.
Can you tell if it's male or female?
It's a female head.
Oh, my God.
It's a head, and it's, not looking great because it's covered in blood, too.
He came in like that and then screamed and laughed? Well,
no, he did some stuff in between.
Oh, my.
He didn't just come in and go, fucking show and tell, look what I got, and then took off. Yeah. No. He made his presence known in the store more than that. God. Okay. He walked into the store like that. Yeah. A customer screamed, obviously, when they saw that. Yeah. Oh, my God.
Oh, Jesus.
I mean, that's such a crazy scene. You would think that was a joke at first. I would think that was someone playing some kind of prank if they walked in covered in blood, holding a knife with a human head in the other hand. I go, get the fuck out of here. That's what I mean.
Today,
it's a YouTube video. It's a TikTok fucking thing.
You clout chasing son of a bitch, get out of here.
Yeah, it's this is for TikTok. Eat my shit. Get away. Get out of the store. Yeah. Fuck off.
Content god, get out of here.
Yeah, fuck off, content asshole. So they actually scream and freak out, and wow, okay. There's about, okay. He comes in the store. with these things, puts down the knife, keeps the head, puts down the knife for a minute, drinks a soda.
Pulls it out of the thing?
Grabs a soda, downs it, fucking downs it. Which, I mean, if you have a head and a knife, you're already, shoplifting is not your biggest problem, so...
Also, that's a commercial.
That's a Sprite commercial right there. Yeah. Because it's, refresh. You got to refresh.
Quenches your thirst.
Well, it's refreshing there. Or Mountain Dew would be before you cut the head off. You'd have you'd be like, jet skiing and like fucking snowmobiling off a fucking hill, like with snow coming out behind you, then chopping someone's head off and walking into a grocery store.
While drinking a Mountain Dew. You take the head while drinking the Mountain Dew, then you go get a Sprite to finish it up.
And your blood-covered face, you have a big smile, and you go, at the end. So he drinks a soda, downs it, runs to the back of the store then.
Okay.
Knife and head still in hand now. They
still
got those now. Runs to the back of the store and encounters a guy who works there who's stocking a shelf. He's normally a cashier, but he likes to help out around the store, and he's helping stock it. He's a man named Michael Wagner. He's 64 years old, so this isn't a young guy.
Yeah.
And the man with the head tells this guy, quote, "You better run," which I don't think you need to even say that. I think that's assumed.
I would already be running if you've got time to say that.
Covered in blood, bloody butcher knife, head in one hand. I go, well, this guy clearly wants some alone time. He doesn't need me here. I think he's got it under control, whatever he wants his afternoon to be. I'm not going to change the situation.
I'm going to assume that was a short temper that did that. I'm leaving.
But the other problem is he says you better run, but then doesn't give him any time to run. He's a 64-year-old man. 64-year-old guys.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It takes a couple of steps to get up. You know what I mean? You got to be like, okay, walk, a little hot. Like it's a process. It's not just, you can't just burst into a run at
there's
64.
A couple of slow steps before the run.
To get the balance right. Yeah. So he was, he was just helping out this poor guy. This guy, by the way, Mike Wagner, he grew up around here. And his wife grew up around here. I'm sorry. And his wife said, "I want to raise our kids there because it's a nice town." He had been laid off 20 years ago from making steel oil drums in Portland.
Holy.
Yeah, I don't know if they probably have all those that they need. They just reuse them, I would assume. How many of those do you need?
Those don't seem to break down unless you put them in a river with a body in it.
Yeah, and even then, the reason why they put the body in it is they hold up pretty well. Even with
even
in the
East
River,
pulled some out of Lake
well.
Mead they pulled them out of Lake Mead that have been there for 50 years.
That's not bad, right? So he was unemployed for 6 months, and he went to the grocery store, and they offered him a job. And that same day, the steel oil drum place offered him his job back. And he said, "I'm going to stay at this grocery store." No, I
like the groceries.
I don't want to commute. I don't want to do any of that. I'm going to do the grocery store. So he's worked there for 21 years.
Wow.
Yeah, Mike Wagner said it was meant to be that I worked there. So he decided, by the way, he should have been on his lunch break at this moment in time.
Oh, no.
He was going to his lunch break late because he decided to help and shelve a few more boxes of produce before he's like, let me get these last couple boxes done before my lunch break.
The man goes above and beyond.
Yeah, he's being like a responsible worker. Yeah, where he's like, my lunch can wait. So going above and beyond. He said he walked into the back room, went inside, entered the walk-in refrigerator with loud fans. So he never heard anybody screaming at the front of the store because he's in the back.
Oh, okay.
If you've ever been in a walk-in, it's a sound.
Is it loud in there?
You walk in. It's, by the way, it's thick metal doors to keep all the cool in, and then it's just like there's no anything in there. So he started loading food in the cart and went to turn around and go back out. And that's when he saw the man appear with the knife. And he said, "You better run." And then he said, "I'm going to kill you." Well,
I trust him.
Yeah, I believe that. The fact that you have a head in your hand proves your point. So he says Wagner was stabbed 4 times before he even knew it was happening, he said.
Oh, my God.
He was just like, what now? What's going on? And then he was getting stabbed. Like he was just...
Shit.
He was like, had a song in his head. I mean, you're working. You're not fucking thinking I'm going to get stabbed a bunch of times. No. So he is stabbed, this Wagner guy stabbed in his left elbow and his right shoulder. That's 2 stabs. And then 5 stabs to the torso. 5 with an 8-inch butcher knife to his midsection.
That almost goes all the way through.
Yes, including one that was pretty much dead center of the guy's chest.
Christ.
Somehow missed his heart, though.
Really?
Yes. So the Wagner swings what is described as a lightweight wire rack at him. So one of those little racks on the side that they have, stock on. He grabbed that and hit him with it, which weighs nothing, but at least it's a object that you can get space with if you.
And it certainly now makes the attacker start thinking.
Yeah, at least so.
He has to address. Yeah,
it's not just I'm in a murderous spree. Now I got to fight.
Yeah.
So then Mike Wagner grabs the assailant here, grabs his arm with the knife, and they start struggling. So
he's stabbed so many times. He's fighting back still.
Yeah, somehow he's not. I don't know if it didn't hit any large arteries or veins or anything, but he's not. Doesn't lose a ton of blood here from all these stab wounds with a giant butcher knife, which is crazy. So he's fighting with him, and then other employees see it, and they come in and jump on it too. They just see their buddy here fucking wrestling with a bloody man with a goddamn butcher knife. Yeah. So they jump on. The knife falls to the ground. That's good. They kind of pancake the guy, basically. They use their weight and just kind of shove him to the ground. Then they, at that point, the other employees begin to beat the shit out of the guy because he's trying to get up. So they're punching him and fucking kicking him in the head. I mean, they're working him over now like just working him over on the side of the road like a gang at this point.
Unbelievable.
Then somebody else, they get the knife away from him. One of the guys has duct tape on him, so he just whips it out and starts taping the guy.
Starts taping shit.
Yeah. He tapes the guy's ankles together so he can't run away.
Yeah.
Fucking tapes up his hands, too, like handcuffs him with duct tape. So now they got the guy duck cuffed on the ground there, and some employee was pretty good with first aid. They had been an EMT a few years ago or something, so jumped in and tried to help Wagner with his bleeding and all that sort of thing. He had to go be taken to have surgery, obviously. That seems like going to need to be repaired. His sternum is all cut up. He's got problems. His wife said, though, this is his wife, Pam Wagner, she said he's a tough cookie.
I'd fucking say so.
You stabbed him 7 times with a butcher knife,
and
he fought you. And he was like, "Let's go, motherfucker," and started wrestling.
He's been run through, man. And then he won.
Yeah, imagine what he was like when he was 35. That's probably a real formidable kind of cat right there. You know what I mean?
It's a man that casks steel drums.
Yeah, it's a tough guy. So his wife said he's the sweetest, most kind-hearted guy. We all feel terrible that this happened.
Yeah, I believe it.
Everybody likes this guy, too. So he does survive, and he says, I remember thinking, I've got to get that knife and get him before he gets me. But he said he was getting stabbed before he even realized what was happening, really. But once he realized, oh, shit, that knife is coming out of me, I better fight this guy. Which, I mean, just to not go into like a shock scenario after that, to be able to be like, okay, and now I'm going to fight you is, staying a strong mental mind there. So he said it's almost like it didn't happen. I saw it happen. I don't know if I'm taking myself out of it or what. So for him, it's like he watched it happen rather than it happened to him, which is a way to protect yourself. That's how your brain protects itself from trauma, is to figure out how to not make it be so scary. He had to be airlifted to Portland and everything else for surgery. So obviously they arrest the man who did this, obviously. Ernie Roberts comes in. He's the acting police chief of the nearby town of Sandy. And this town's so small, they don't have their own police force. So this Sandy Police Department kind of patrols here and also Colton as well. They kind of, there's not a lot going on out there. So when he gets the guy, the assailant here, he's on the ground, he's duct taped, he's covered in blood.
Yeah.
And all the man will say is that he's thirsty. He's very thirsty. That's it. He's very, very thirsty. It's like Men in Black.
Water?
Yes, it's total Men in Black situation.
Give me sugar water.
It's what's going on here. He just downed a Pepsi or whatever at the front of the store. So
you just guzzled a 20 ounce. What are you talking about? You're thirsty.
Well, you find out what he did. You understand why he would build up a little bit of a thirst.
Okay.
So let's find out who this young man is here. All right.
Young.
Young man. Well, not young man. He's a man, but he's younger than the man he stabbed. So I'll put it that way. So let's talk about his parents first. His parents are Tina Marie Webb, who's 59 years old, and his father's name is David Webb. They've been married for 41 years.
How is that possible?
She was 18 when they got married.
She's 59. Got it. All right.
Yeah, she was 18, and so I mean they've been high school sweethearts basically, and they're still together.
Yeah, 41 years.
41 years. They have 4 grown children.
Good Christ!
And they're doing well. They've lived in the neighborhood in Colton for 20 years, which I mean this is a very stable people.
Yeah.
It's a 41-year marriage, same residence for 40 years. Right. You don't get more stable than that.
It's tough to. Yeah.
You'd loan those people money. You'd be like, well, I mean, you know where they're going to be anyway. You know, if you need to go break some legs, you got them right there. They're not taking off or anything. Hey, everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you about the safest sponsor ever, Simply Safe. Absolutely. These people will keep you safe. It's amazing. You know that every 26 seconds a burglary takes place in the United States, according to the FBI. That means that by the time this podcast is over, dozens and dozens of homes will have been targeted, ransacked. God knows what happens here. So protect your home before it's too late with Simply Safe proactive security system. Simply Safe helps stop threats before they even have a chance to break in. Named Best Home Security System by U.S. News and World Report 5 years in a row. And by us for about the last 8 years as well. If you trust us, believe me, you want Simply Safe. So visit simplysafe.com/small to claim 50% off a new system with professional monitoring plan and your first month free. That's simplysafe.com/small. There's no safe like Simply Safe.
Now back to the show.
This show, Small Town Murder, is brought to you by BetterHelp. Get yourself some therapy, everybody. Honestly, here. We often hear about, red flags that you should avoid. Hey, that's a lot of a thing. It's become a real phrase now, real cliche. Yeah. But why don't you focus also, you look at like green flags in friends and partners. Look for good things as well. Right. And maybe you're not sure what that looks like, though. Therapy can help you figure that out. What are positive things? What are the green flags? And then you can practice them in your relationship. It's absolutely a fact. And so, honestly, we absolutely are huge advocates for this. It really, really helps. BetterHelp is fully online, making therapy affordable. It's convenient. They serve over 5 million people worldwide. You can access a diverse network of more than 30,000 credentialed therapists, wide ranges of specialties there. Here's the coolest part. You're not getting along with your therapist, you're just not feeling it, you can switch at any time, no extra charge.
Wow.
The thing is, they want you to get help. That's it. And you can do it with BetterHelp. Discover your relationship green flags with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/smalltownmurder today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/smalltownmurder.
Now back to the show.
Tina, the mom, had graduated several years back with a horticulture degree from the community college. She is known as a master gardener, all her neighbors say. She grows wonderful things. And, she also had designed and worked on a garden at a local church recently. So she's super into that kind of stuff. And they have 4 grown kids, like we said, including their son, whose name is Joshua Lee Webb. He's 36 years old. He is our head-carrying stabber here. Okay, Joshua. Josh, he goes by here. Josh has vision problems, and his eyes, you can tell by looking at him there's something wrong with his eyes. Like, it's obvious.
Fish-eyed?
One's kind of going over here, but they're also kind of cloudy. Like, there's some issues with his eyes. You can tell, like, this guy probably doesn't have good vision, to the point where he receives Social Security payments because
he can't work. You can't function.
He goes around and gets jobs and stuff, but he can't really have, he's not going to get a career really.
Legally blind?
I guess so, but the problem is, too, there's blind people who do all sorts of stuff. I don't know. So, but I guess it would be harder if you had, I don't know. Also,
certainly ain't easy.
If this is something that happens, if you're blind from birth, they teach you Braille and all that kind of thing, and I think it's an easier path, maybe. But if you start to lose your vision and it gets worse and worse, then you don't really know. You don't know how to be blind, and you're
Yeah,
that would be hard.
You're certainly working on it every day.
Oh, that'd be so hard, man. Blind's the worst thing in the world. That's.
I think
as
you
bad
might
as
be
it could.
right.
I don't give a shit about deaf. I don't want to hear people anyway. Leave me the fuck alone. That'd be great.
Yeah.
I don't mind it.
It's also like at least you could see you can see what's coming. That's everything.
I'd like to see if I'm going to get hit by a car or if there's a bloody man with a knife and a head standing before me and going to stab me. These sort of things I'd like to see,
At least to be forewarned of it based on just on sight.
Whether we're done wiping our ass, that sort of shit would be nice to know.
Yeah. It can't hear or can't see, somebody can sneak up on you. But if you can hear or if you can see, then you can see anything coming. Yeah. If you can't see, you're being snuck up on in every direction.
Can you imagine being deaf or having hearing and being blind and hearing somebody sneaking up on you? Who's there?
Where are you?
You couldn't even fucking
doesn't matter. Yeah,
that'd be horrible.
They're sneaking up on you from the front.
I'd rather be deaf.
Behind.
Just stab me and I don't hear it coming if I don't see you. I'd rather have that than be constantly paranoid. What was that?
Yeah.
What was that noise? And I can't even go inspect it. That'd be horrible. So Josh lives in a pole barn on his parents' property. It's out there. It's very rural, and he lives in the pole barn, in one of the outbuildings in the property.
Yeah.
And he does odd jobs around the neighborhood for money. People need some yard work done or, stuff like that. He'll do whatever. He lives at home so his parents could kind of help him along and take care of him because he needs a little extra help. And they recently, in the past year, they bought him a dog because he wanted one.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. And now his mother, Tina, always said that she thought her son was depressed. She kind of always used to say, I think he's depressed, but the father, David, said he never saw any indication of that or felt it when they talked or anything. So the parents would be like, I think he's depressed. And he'd be like, no, he's fine. I talked to him. He seems fine. So that's how it would go. He has no criminal record whatsoever. So he's 36. He's never gotten into trouble. This is a hell of a first offense here.
Certainly.
His only conviction was for unlawful use of metal objects on tires in 2000. So I think he had chains on, and it was in June of 2000. So I think he had. I think he didn't take his snow chains off. Is what happened.
Got it.
And
I thought you meant like he's a CrossFitter and he's just out there with a sled, just beating the shit out of a tractor tire.
Yeah, at first I thought he was like
that's
slashing.
Illegal up here.
I thought he was like slashing tires or something.
All right,
but I think that's probably what that would be. Now. He's being taken away by the police, Josh, and at the same time, his sister, who is home visiting her mother for Mother's Day, with her children, by the way, she is coming back to their home there, the back at the house where
the Webb house,
home here. Okay, she walks in and finds her mother's headless body on the living room floor.
No,
headless body on the living room floor.
Holy.
Which is crazy thing to see with her children, by the way. They walked in to find that.
Her kids saw that.
They also find the body of Josh's dog on the counter.
What?
As well. His dog Cooper is also. He's not bloody or stabbed or anything, though, and his head's still attached.
But he's dead.
So, yes, apparently he broke the dog's neck and then beheaded his mother.
Oh, Jesus.
He stabbed his mother and then sawed her head off. On Mother's Day, mind you.
Wow.
With knowing his sister was coming home and all this sort of thing, and then took the head and the knife
the grocery store.
And went 10 miles to the grocery store and walked in.
And then fought a man.
Downed a Pepsi, walked into the back and said, I'm going to kill you, and stabbed a stranger.
Holy shit.
That's
a day.
This is a fucking day right here, man. And this is no history of violence or anything to speak of in his entire life. And he's 36. He's not 17.
Just thick glasses.
He doesn't even have them, I don't think. I saw the pictures of him. I didn't see him, but I don't know. So they take him here. By the time the officers arrived there, he said he was thirsty, and then after that he didn't say anything else. They said he was catatonic after that. He was just in a state of complete, limbo.
Maybe he's starting to realize what he did.
I guess they said he was in a catatonic state for hours afterwards and wouldn't speak or wouldn't acknowledge being talked to. He would just sit there and stare forward. Then, 24 hours after his arrest,
Yeah.
being in a completely catatonic state, say, I'm thirsty to nothing for 24 hours, he sat up like the Undertaker. He popped up in his fucking bed out of nowhere and just said to whoever was around, quote, I had a nice nap. Huh?
Sir.
Excuse me?
Did you?
Wow. If you work in that hospital, you go, is there a wing for the extra crazy? Do we have an extra crazy wing?
That is as far out as it gets, right?
I had a nice nap. Yeah.
I had a nice nap.
I had a nice nap, huh? Look at that.
I was dreaming I wasn't crazy.
Isn't that wild? Yeah. And I could see perfectly. He then said that, oh, shit. I killed my dog, and then I killed my mother. And then I also stabbed that guy at the grocery store, huh?
I tried to kill him. But...
Yeah. And they were like, yeah, you did all that stuff. That's why you're here, crazy person. So they're going to go ahead and book him on charges of murder and attempted murder, and more to follow, but that's just to get him in the door. You know what I mean?
That's the beginnings, yeah.
Wow. So his sister, which is wild, arrives at the home with the kids going, let's go see Grandma for Mother's Day.
Oh, Jesus.
They walk in the door, and they saw Grandma for Mother's Day, but it wasn't the way they wanted.
We saw her on Mother's Day.
Right? Imagine that. Imagine if that's your children saw that. They walked in and saw their grandma. That's fucking traumatizing as shit. So, wow, that's interesting. So, she's visiting. She discovers the body on the floor, and she obviously went next. She ran out of the house and went to a neighbor's house to call the cops and said, my mother's got no head. I need to call the cops. They said, that's a good reason. So she said, one of the neighbors said, this is just a nightmare. It's something you wouldn't imagine someone would do. Yeah, I would say.
Sure, yeah.
That seems smart. David, this is Dad, David Webb, he said, I never foresaw a problem. If I had, I would have stopped it. He said, I just can't believe I lost my wife and son in one day. I don't know. I wish I did. I wish I had some answers, but I don't. I waited all my life to retire with my wife, and now I can't. That's all I know.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, they're 59. I mean, they're just right there, like, we're going to relax. And you're going to do gardening, and everything's going to be lovely. Wow. He said, my wife was wonderful. I've been married to her for almost 41 years. Joshua was our son. I never saw a problem. Evidently there was one. I don't know. I start crying every time I think about it. This poor bastard.
I can't imagine. Yeah.
This poor
he
bastard.
lost everything.
He lost everything in one day, and just...
His life just changed tremendously.
And the guilt you would have of, how did I not see that? Anybody...
How did I miss that?
How did anybody would feel that way? It's just a normal... human emotion to feel, fuck, there's three of us that live here.
Right.
He killed
I'm the
her.
only one here.
I'm the only one that's not involved in this. So a little bit more on Josh, because I feel like we need to fill out his character a little bit here. At this point, he's just a guy who can't see very well and likes to take people's heads off.
He's nebulous as fuck, yeah.
He created a Facebook profile the month before this all happened.
Okay.
And didn't really post very much. He posted some entries that were mainly pictures of his dog. Yeah. And he made a comment on a thunderstorm at one point. It's storming out really loud. And also he posted that he was in a relationship. They changed his status on there. So
really?
Posted he was in a relationship here. And in the post, it says, quote, when you can't sleep apart and anything life throws at you isn't too much to be with her. Yup, that's where I'm at. Okay.
Really?
Yeah. So he's in love is what he's saying at that point.
Who's she?
We'll talk about her here. Wow. Let's talk a little bit more. Here's a guy named Curtis Strandy, who's Webb's best friend. This is Josh's best friend. He said that Josh loved his mother very much. Josh was the farthest thing from argumentative or violent that you could get. He said he was, quote, the nicest guy I've ever met.
Really?
Gentle, everything. He said this sums it all up with a bow. Quote, it ain't Josh at all. It ain't Josh, I'll tell you that much right now.
The nicest guy saws his mom's head off. So who's the baddest guy?
Imagine if you know a dick. That's if you know a real asshole.
Nightmare in your life.
Man. Holy shit. This guy, Curtis, said he talked to Webb the week before, or on Thursday, so it was like 4 days before, and Josh had urged his friend Curtis to ask a friend of Curtis's for forgiveness. He said, you need to go to your friend and ask for forgiveness. And do you know why this was?
Why?
Because when he and his friend were 15 years old, Curtis stole something from him.
20
years ago. And Josh said, you need to admit it and go ask for forgiveness from that guy. It's wrong to let it fly.
Nah. I'm not going to hang out with that guy.
Nah, fuck that. I haven't seen him since the 12th grade. He can eat shit.
I haven't seen him since that day.
Yeah.
That was 20 fucking years ago.
So, that's kind of how nice he was, though. Like, oh, you should ask him forgiveness and admit it. He said that, he said the last couple months, too, Josh seems to have had lit a fire under him to try to have he wanted to get a career is what he wanted.
Yeah.
He said he was tired of job. He wanted a profession. He wanted to I want to do something for 20 years. And
I want an identity.
Yes, exactly. And have a better life. He wanted to have his own place. He wanted to be able to be more independent, which comes with having a girlfriend and all that.
Sure.
And feeling more adult and everything. So they said that neighbors said that his girlfriend, Josh's girlfriend, was living there for a while with him in the pole barn.
Oh,
and she had just recently moved away here. One of the neighbors said that Webb was an okay guy, and he had an eye condition that made it hard for him to keep a steady job. They said they've never noticed any trouble between family members. There's never any fighting or anything like that over there. His friend Curtis said, I wish I would have been there or called him that day to help him when he needed me. So he said he doesn't understand what happened to him. He said that he doesn't know of any mental illness that Josh has. It's never that he knew of. He said he knows he doesn't do any drugs or anything like that. He said he has become kind of religious lately, but that's not usually.
New thing.
You don't usually find Jesus and then cut your mom's head off. That's not the norm.
Rare, yeah.
Not the normal thing that you do here. And he just said again, quote, he loved his mother so much. So his girlfriend, Heather Sidham is her name. She says that he's been weird lately. He changed and kind of, She said that she saw in March his mood started to change.
Yeah.
She says, quote, his eyes did not look right, which is pretty fucked up because his eyes never look right. That's his eyes never look right, but they looked even. That's what I mean. That's pretty. That's fast.
Has she only seen him in the dark, and then one day, she
did not look right. Yeah. That's interesting, number one, which I guess just looked different than they normally did. And she said that he started rubbing the left side of his head all the time, which is weird. She said that he called her on April 8th and told her that he had what he described as a, quote, you never heard these words put together before.
All right.
An odd squid pulsing sensation.
Squid pulsing.
Squid pulsing. In his head is what he felt.
Squid pulsing.
In the back of his head.
Okay. I don't know.
He said it felt like, what's the word? It felt like a squid was sucking onto the back of his head.
How the hell would he know what that feels like?
That's what I'm saying. That's why I said squid pulsing. Who the fuck puts those things together?
Imagine being a doctor. I just thought about that.
Yeah.
Imagine being a doctor and having to fucking sift through this shit.
Yeah. It's like being a mechanic and having people come in and go, the car's going, vroom, vroom, vroom. You know that? And it's like a higher pitch, like ring, ring, but only when it's the same thing. He's like, it's a squid pulsing sensation. What the fuck are you talking about?
When I press the brakes, there's like a squid pulse.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like it feels like it's sucking on the back of my head. You know what I mean? Only when I press the brakes, though.
The fuck does that mean?
Yep. You felt like a squid was sucking onto the back of his head. A squid. It's not even the normal sucking thing you'd think of. You know, like.
No.
It's so strange that he would pick a squid to Obviously, there's an issue here with the squid pulsing and the head rubbing. And she also said that lately he'd become super religious also, the way she put it. Quote, super religious. Like he got very, to the point where he'd be like, you need to ask a guy that you stole something from 20 years ago for forgiveness.
Yeah, because that's a sin.
So, he was doing that. He was trying to be for all forgiveness. So she said that, squid sucking on the back of his head. That was about 2 months before this all happened in March. And also that he told her and other people that he believed that she, his girlfriend, was, quote, secretly injecting him with an unknown substance.
Uh-oh.
Squid pulsing and unknown injections are going on right now.
Yeah.
Then in April, after he was posted, like a week after he posted how, that's where I am right now when you do anything and all that sort of shit, he asked her to leave and move out of Oregon and get the hell away from him. Go away.
Oh, he kicked her out.
Kicked her out. She lived on the East Coast. She moved there to be with him.
What?
And he said, take your ass back home. Fuck off. So she was like,
imagine
all
you
right.
moved across a continent
to
be with a man who says that feels like there's a squid sucking on his head.
Yeah. Go, hey, listen, you with your fucking milky eye and your squid head, and I'm going to I move across the country for this, and you're going
to kick me out?
You're kicking me out? I kick you out. No, squid boy. What are you talking about? So his sister said, this is his sister here, she said that Webb had been doing, quote, doing weird things lately and was losing his mind. That's what she said. His father said that I didn't see that. Again, his father's not home all the time, though, because he was out of town when this happened. So, yeah, I don't know if he's paying that close of attention. I think mom spends more time with the kids than dad does, because I think dad's also working still because he was close to retirement. So I think she spends a little bit more time. So they said that his behavior had gotten weirder in the weeks leading up to this. He had told, I guess, his sister or somebody that he believed his girlfriend was injecting him with an unknown substance, and that the Fox TV network, just overall, not even Fox News or Fox Entertainment or Fox 20th Century Fox Movies,
the one that airs
parent
the
company, the whole thing, the whole umbrella, quote, owned him.
Really?
Owned him. So
they bought me.
Squid pulsing, secret injections, and owned by Fox Television. I don't know. That seems odd. That seems like he might cut somebody's head off pretty soon. Maybe he should probably intervene there. He also told his girlfriend that a black box in the garage shouldn't be there, and it must contain a device that's recording him. But he didn't go look at it or inspect it or make sure it had a thing in it.
I just saw it.
Or get rid of it.
There. Yeah.
It's there, and it's recording me, and I can't do anything about it.
Okay.
So, secret injection, squid sucking.
Holy.
It's Fox TV owns you, and the box in the garage is recording you.
I'm never going to church ever again.
No shit. I assumed that it was placed there by Fox, is what his...
That's what he's got to assume, right?
The box is placed there by Fox. They own him, so they're going to want to know what he's up to. So then, in late April, after he kicked his girlfriend out, after he did all of that, he went to the police and voluntarily turned in all of his guns. He had guns because he goes in the woods and he'd hunt and stuff. Yeah. He gave them all his guns. He said, I don't want these anymore. Will you take my guns from me? And he said that, they said, well, why, sir? And he said, well... and the cop said because he recognized that voices were talking to him and leading him, quote, into trouble.
Yeah, give us those.
We'll go ahead and why don't you go ahead and we'll go ahead and take those off your hands there, buddy. Anything else sharp around the house you want to maybe give us? Anything that's not made of Nerf, if possibly you could hand that over to us. We'd enjoy that.
Why do you want us to have those? Because the voices. Okay, we'll take them.
Yeah, Then he also destroyed all the knives that he owned.
Okay.
Any pocket knives or hunting knives, all that he owned. And then he went to 2 different police agencies and reported himself as a murderer. I'm a murderer. You have to come arrest me. And they were like, well, who'd you kill? And he was like, I don't know. Just come arrest me. I'm a murderer. And they were like, well, we kind of need to know like who you killed and how it happened and stuff. We can't just arrest people for murder because they say they killed someone. And he was, well, I don't have all that information, but I'd like to be arrested for murder. Hey, everybody. Just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you a little bit about Sono Bello. You know, the most known secret with celebrities and influencers and all these famous people is so many of them have had lipo. They've had lipo, whether it's a little touch-up here or a total makeover. Yeah. Nobody has a perfect body. That's the thing. No. They may look like it on TV, but there's things that help that. Absolutely. Lipo now has changed, and Sono Bello's been at the forefront with using LAL technology and getting those beautiful and natural outcomes for each person. Looking real natural. Our friends at Sonobello are offering their best deal. You're now included in their winter savings event, but appointments are limited, so please get on this. Sonobello doctors are masters in micro laser fat removal, a brilliant technique that removes stubborn fat permanently. Wherever your problem areas are, tummy, love handles, thighs, arms, it's gone in one comfortable visit. Eating healthy and workouts are great. Keep doing that, but if you want to lose that stubborn fat in one visit, check out Sonobello. Save big during their winter savings event. Schedule your free consultation now at sonobello.com/smalltownmurder. That's SONOBELLO.com/smalltownmurder.
Now back to the show.
Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you a little bit more about our stylish friends at Quince. That's right, let's go elevate your styles, people. Yeah. Get it going, look good out there, and you can do it now without breaking your wallet, without breaking the bank, because at Quince, you can get high-end, versatile pieces at prices we can all actually afford, which is very nice. You want to get good stuff that lasts and it's good, and they have quality stuff that's very affordable, and you can do like we did, upgrading our stuff here, while still being a very reasonable price. Quince only works with factories that use safe, ethical, responsible manufacturing practices, along with premium fabrics and finishes. It's all quality stuff. You're going to love it. Trust us, it looks good. And I've got the leather jacket. It's a very high-quality item. Real nice, soft leather. Yeah. Jimmie's got his linen pants he's rocking.
Yeah. They're terrific.
Come on, be like us. Be fashionable. Get in there with Quince. Indulge in affordable luxury. Go to quince.com/smalltownmurder for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. That's QUINCE.com/smalltownmurder to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/smalltownmurder.
Now back to the show.
Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you a little bit about a very cool place, Thrive Market. Yes, we are both looking to get into the healthy swing this year. The problem is I don't know what's in everything, and I don't know if even I'm qualified to even read the labels to know if that's good or that's bad. Right. There's chemicals in things, and there's things floating around. I don't know what I'm doing out there. One of my favorite features, and I know you were talking to me about this, is the Healthy Swap Scanner in the Thrive Market app. Yeah, it's simple. You scan any item, and it'll instantly suggest a cleaner, healthier grocery alternative, which is
it's great.
Amazing. Yeah. That's great. Thrive Market also takes the guesswork out of finding these safe, healthy foods. For example, like I'm trying to get my protein intake up for energy. I'm always moving around. I need stuff. And I love that you can filter their site by the high protein options.
Nice.
It's very cool. And you can personalize this portion and you can put filters on it. And get ready. You should be ready for a junk-free start to 2025. Get ready for it and head to thrivemarket.com/smalltownmurder and get 30% off your first order plus a free $60 gift. That's THRIVE market.com/smalltownmurder, thrivemarket.com/smalltownmurder.
Now back to the show.
He said he was hoping that they would arrest him. He was trying to get arrested and they wouldn't arrest him. So he was like, damn it. Now, psychiatrists, once he's in the hospital, say that the time of year may have played a role in his mood change.
May?
Yes. This one guy, he said, quote, when they get flooded with daylight, that can be very activating, which can push them toward anxiety or anger. And
yeah, because April showers. That's
what happens. You got May flowers, and then the squids come out, usually. That's how it works. And they lash onto the back of your head. Suck everything
Sucking
off
on honeysuckles.
That's how it works. There's squids everywhere in the fields. It's squid season. You know how it goes. Now, his father spoke to him the night before the murder and said he seemed in good spirits. I don't think Dad has a real grasp of what's happening here. I feel terrible for Dad because obviously he lost his wife and his son, and this is fucking horrible, but I don't feel like his 36-year-old son who lives in the pole barns mental condition was number one on this guy's radar, considering that his sister said he was going downhill. His girlfriend said but not Dad.
Dad saying he's in good spirits.
He seemed fine to me, is what he said. So, yeah, they said it could have been a number of things. They're talking to a psychiatrist going, what could have triggered something like this? And the psychiatrist said it could have been caused by a number of things. It might have been a bipolar thing, possibly a manic flare-up or something. He said it also could be a tumor, judging by him rubbing his head and feeling a weird sensation. It could be a tumor. He said it could be drug use. He said those are things that can start psychosis.
Huh.
Okay, so that's possible. And this guy said this is amazing. Quote, he said that if someone has a mental health issue, you should pay attention to how they react to stuff. Then he said this. Now, if we put everybody, if we said you need to like be in a rubber room, anybody who had these qualities, half the fucking 3/4 of the country would be put away.
Yeah.
Like, watch any of those, like, Neighbor Wars or any of those shows, and you'd be like, we're not okay, and see, this is why. People are fighting in the streets. Quote, irritability. If people are interpreting anything you say as in the most negative possible way. So basically, everyone on social media needs to be put in a facility at this point.
Sure, yeah.
He just described Twitter or fucking Instagram or anything else.
Yeah, it's not good.
No.
It's not good out there.
That's what it's like. So Wagner, back to him, he survives. He's in the hospital for a while. He has surgeries. He said he never felt any pain during the attack. He said the thing that he considers himself lucky, in addition to not dying, is that he never saw the woman's head, he said. He had put the head down right before he talked to him, because you got to have your hands free when you're going to murder somebody.
Sure.
So he said it was harder on everybody else than it was on me. They had to deal with all that, which I wouldn't. I'd rather see a head than be stabbed 7 times. How about you?
Run through. I'd rather play peekaboo with the corpse head. Yeah.
You can show me a bunch of heads, and I'd probably be much better with it.
I'd rather see 5 of them than be stabbed with a 5-inch blade.
Yeah, line them up. I have heads of like a famous rock group. I'll line them all up. I don't care. 5 of there's all of.
Show me all of Kiss beheaded, and I'd
rather
see that.
Full makeup and everything. So about the Wagner guy, one of the coworkers said, he's such a happy-go-lucky guy. He'll sit and tell you which vegetables to get and which ones not to. Really nice guy. No one around here will ever have a bad thing to say about him. One lady, Connie's 71, and she had been to the store. It was 2:00 in the afternoon, mind you. She had already been to the grocery store 3 hours, 3 different times that day.
What
lady?
The fuck does she keep forgetting?
Make a fucking list, lady. I get it. But make a list. What are you doing here?
Learn the Notes app. It makes it so much easier.
I forgot that too.
You can share it with your husband, and he'll tell you when you got something wrong.
Yeah. Oh no. He says, add that to it, and you guys can you can both add to it. It's fun. She said, everyone is family here, and we all take care of each other. When something like this happens, we all feel it. She said it like this is common. The last guy nearly got run through in the grocery store. We gathered around him, too, really rallied around him. She said, we're just so thankful he survived. If we lost him, this town wouldn't be the same. Outside the market, there was a big sign that said, get well soon, Mike. And people put, he loves Cheetos, so they put bags of Cheetos outside for him.
Oh, God, he's never going to pay for Cheetos again.
No? Oh, hell no. And then they also set up a Mike Wagner medical donation thing at the bank to
that's nice.
His recovery expenses and everything like that. And he says, I had to come back just to see everyone and thank them when he got out of the hospital. He said, I belong here. This is my place. I'd be like, I'm never coming back to this fucking grocery store ever again.
I'm gonna revisit building steel drums.
Yeah, I'm gonna go there. One of his daughters said, he just seems unfazed. Yeah.
Unbelievable.
He said, I just want to go back to being the guy who works in produce, not the guy who got stabbed in produce. It's just,
well, sir,
I like this guy. He's got a good sense of humor. No, there's going to be blood stains. You can't clean those up. Yeah. There's going to be blood stains on that concrete floor forever that are yours.
You have so many scars about it.
Oh, so he's arraigned, Josh is, obviously. He makes no arraignment other than to confirm his name and date of birth. And they got him in the old anti-suicide smock thing and everything. Like, he is not in good shape. He's accused of murder, attempted murder, first-degree abuse of a corpse, and first-degree aggravated animal abuse as well.
Yeah.
You should. You get all those
things.
Should
be, yeah.
So the investigator...
Caninicide or whatever it is.
All sorts of caninicide, absolutely. So the investigators are awaiting toxicology reports because they're like, well, was he on something? Like, His behavior's so out there. They're like, he's either on something or the craziest motherfucker who walks this earth. One of the two.
Yeah, I mean, it's outrageous to be covered in blood and carry your mother's head with you and the murder weapon into a fucking public place.
Where are the most people going to be gathered, is what he said. That's the only thing I can think. Where's the most people? The grocery store.
And to make a crazier scene crazier, just shoplifting a soda and guzzling it in front of everybody.
I'm surprised they didn't charge him with that.
Yeah, they should have got him with shoplifting.
Shoplifting
that
also.
$1.29 should have mattered.
Oh, my God. So they hope that they'll get some sort of explanation. Mm-hmm. He goes to court, and the judge is setting a trial date, which is normally just here's the date, done, and you move on. Instead, Josh wants to talk about the trial date. The judge says June 26th, which is like a month away. And Josh said, well, can we do it early? Can we do it sooner? I don't want to wait that long. And so the judge said, well, we need extra time for everybody to, get evidence and everybody make their
stuff together.
I bet your defense attorney would like the time, probably. And
talk to that guy.
So they said he just kept his head lowered, and that was that at that point. All he did in court that day, besides say, can we do it sooner, was at one point he asked a deputy for a cup of water. He's very thirsty, this man.
What is the deal?
He kept his eyes closed the whole time, and they said that might be because the light might hurt his eyes. It might, because it's very bright in court, obviously.
Does he have diabetes?
But it's also bright in a grocery store, and he had no problem stabbing someone. So
no problem,
they gave him the cup. He kept his eyes closed. He tilted his head back and drank the whole cup in one sip. And then all he said was, it tastes bad, and gave him back the cup.
That's not Colton water.
That's not Colton well water. Why do you think I said that about the water?
That's hilarious.
Yeah, it tastes bad. See?
What is that, fucking Arrowhead? Ew.
Yeah, you got Dasani? That shit's garbage. Dip a ladle in my well, sir. Please. So
Jesus.
The cops said they had no idea why he kept his eyes closed the whole time when he talked and did that sort of thing. So he pleads not guilty of all these things, obviously. His attorney, though, says we're probably going to rely on an insanity defense here because I don't know what the fuck's going on with this guy. He's not helping in his defense. He's clearly got some issues. So they filed a notice saying that he was suffering from an undisclosed mental disease or defect in the attorney's opinion, and would like to plead, possibly guilty but insane if we can do that possibly. So a psychiatrist for the defense found that he suffers from mental illness, and the state psychiatrist said, well, hell yeah, he does. This guy's you're not going to get people to go, no, he's fine. He's totally fine. Normal. Everything's great.
He chugged a Starry. Who chooses that first?
Yeah, who goes to that first? Hasn't even been invented yet. It was. He picked up a Sierra Mist and said, "I wish it was Starry," and downed it. And we're like, "What the hell?" So they said that he was likely under duress from psychotic disorders on the schizophrenia spectrum, is what they're saying here. That's as close as they could even get to it, other than the reports show that he still, even after this, a month later, was suffering from hallucinations, delusions. He hears voices and also speaks to the voices he hears.
Oh, no.
That's a lot. Yeah, hearing voices is one thing. That's bad.
He's chit-chatting with him.
Hearing voices
Holy.
And saying, it is rainy today, that does suck, is fucking nuts. That's really nuts. That's next level. That's as crazy as you get. Like, when they say, you're not, only he's guilty, he's too insane, is he hearing voices and talking to them if you're not doing that, you're not insane, is the way the law works, basically. If you're not delusional, he thinks voices are real, and he's talking to them.
He's talking back, and the most annoying because you can't hear what it's like. Standing next to somebody while they're talking on the phone, and
the worst
saying,
worst, he's on a Bluetooth. You're like, who are you talking to? The worst part of it is the voices are all Fox Sports football announcers. That's the other thing. It's just Troy Aikman in his head all the fucking time, and
poor bastard's
the other guy,
got Joe Buck.
He's got Joe Buck and Troy Aikman in there. That's the problem because they own him. Well,
I might take my mom's head off, too, if I got to listen to Joe Buck all day.
Jesus Christ. All day long with this fucking guy?
Jesus Christ. It's just fucking hair plugs.
Jesus, man. So even though he was in once he's in there, they have him for a year. They keep him now. They delay the trial to see what's up. They have him on antipsychotic medication for a year, and he still sees things, hears things, and talks to fucking voices that don't exist.
The drugs can't stop it.
No.
We can't let him out ever.
So, yeah, his attorney said his condition presents dangers to others if he's not in an environment where he's receiving treatment. You can't just put this guy in prison. He could snap and kill half the cell block one of these days, and you won't even know why. So Wagner also makes a statement in court, the guy who got stabbed.
What's he say? Yeah.
And, he says that he believes that Webb didn't want to hurt him or his mother, but he couldn't stop. That's what he said. Wagner said, quote, he needs help, and I hope he gets it. That's how nice of a guy
No
this
shit.
Guy. Yeah. He said, I saw the crazy in his eyes. Like, this guy didn't know what the fuck he was doing. He's not evil. He's just nuts. So here we go. They go to court, and he qualifies to plead guilty but insane. Two psychiatrists for the defense and the prosecution both diagnose him with schizophrenia and psychosis. And he's still hearing voices, even in court, even though he's on a year of medication and all that. While they're discussing this and everything, they also have the victim impact statements. And one of the daughters said, this is Wagner's daughter, he said that she said she was obviously terrified about her father dying and everything, and said that, it's this last year has completely broken our sense of security. She said his mental illness, Webb's, needs to be addressed, but that the punishment for what he'd done, if he's not put in prison, it feels inadequate because one day he could be granted release. They said, knowing Mr. Webb is capable of such horrific acts and yet could still be released to the general public is both terrifying and painful. His sister, Josh's sister, gets on the stand.
What's she have to say?
And she said her brother should never be released.
Yeah.
Yeah. She said that his actions warranted prison time, though. She said that otherwise that her mom's death will forever be without true justice. She said, quote, he must pay for his sin. How can a person not give a reason why he murdered his own mother?
He's got nothing.
That is, he has no reason.
Wow.
Squids and Fox News or Fox TV and fucking black boxes and secret injections and, that sort of thing. His attorney said that he's remorseful. He knows he needs help, and he's fine with that. She says that he understands going to the state hospital is not a picnic. It's not. I mean, these aren't a pleasant, great place. And the attorney for him, he didn't make she made the statement for him because he could get up and just talk about Fruit Loops for 10 minutes. We have no idea what he's going to say.
Squid is coming up, for Christ's sake.
Yeah, he's going to talk about the squid and the black box, and we're like, I think we're off the subject. Right?
I think, can we go back?
We got distracted there. She apologizes to the families. The judge says this, the losses for both families have been profound, and we hope through this process that Mr. Webb will get the help he needs, and he still does need help. This is a case where the medical evidence is without a doubt. You, sir, may get some help and fuck off to the mental hospital here. And
forever.
No, that's the thing. We'll talk about the sentence. But now his family, though, it seems like Wagner, the guy who actually got run through, is the only guy who's okay with this. Everybody else seems very upset with it. His daughters are mad, which understandable. I get where they're coming from. Yeah. And the sister's very mad, though. Yeah, she said, he's my brother, and I believe this sentence must have prison time behind it. Again, she says it afterwards. She goes, it's fucking ridiculous. Under the state law, he will be evaluated within 90 days, and then at least, that's to make sure he's still crazy, then at least every 2 years to see if his mental state has improved enough to be released. So he's basically...
Every 2 years, we're like, how you doing?
He's basically up for parole every 2 years. And if he's fine, and he's been fine, and everything's fine, they release him.
It's been 6 years. Where is he?
He's still there now. I mean, he's probably still having the same conversation with Joe Buck at this point from back then.
I thought you were about to scare the shit out of me, man.
He has
gotten out and he's relocated.
He just moved to Surprise, Arizona, Jimmy. Hope you see him Don't go to the grocery store. They said
Watch yourself in produce.
Oh, boy, don't go to the produce section. It really sets him off. When those misters come on, he loses his fucking mind.
Thunder, man.
Wow. They said even if Webb is released, he will be under the control of the state's Criminal Psychiatric Review Board for life, also, is what the district attorney said. Prosecutors said that after the hearing that he could participate in an initial release hearing within 90 days of commitment. That's amazing. Obviously, he didn't get out.
Does that mean if he gets out, they're still checking on him, and if they deem him to be relapsing, they can throw his ass right back in?
I think that's like almost like psychiatric probation, where they got to check on you a whole bunch. Yeah. You got to show up, and they got to make sure you're not hearing shit and everything's okay. They probably talk to your family, make sure nothing weird is happening. Any squid
you talk to a window, and you're right back in.
Yeah. You say, fuck you, Troy Aikman, one time. It's over. You're back in this bitch. So the Psychiatric Security Review Board, there's articles about it where the people don't have nice things to say about this. Here's an editorial from a newspaper up there. Oregon Psychiatric Security Review Board has failed Oregonians. Its main mission, according to its own website, is to protect the public from those criminals who are found guilty except for insanity. It does not do that and has failed to study the issue in any serious way. If it had, it may have discovered that 35% of people it releases from supervision commit another crime within 3 years, according to the stats here. They said that the board manages its prisoners who have been sent to the Oregon State Hospital rather than to prison after committing what can be horrific crimes. Well, obviously.
Yeah.
One example, the hospital is home to Joshua Webb, a man who pleaded guilty but insane in 2017, talking about her severed head. Unfortunately, the board doesn't track what its former patients do. Had they done so, its members might not have been surprised in January 2017 when Anthony Montwheeler stabbed an ex-wife to death and killed another man in a head-on collision while fleeing police near Ontario.
Oh, my God.
The board released Montwheeler from custody the previous month after he claimed to have been faking mental illness for 20 years in its custody. He figured out how to get out.
Oh, my God.
I was just faking it. They said, thanks to the enterprise, ProPublic, and Oregon's public records law, the board's problems are now very public indeed. While it has discussed studying its former charges, recidivism rates, and even made a stab at doing so, a stab at it? Come on. The work has never been completed, a fact that has never worked hard to hide in recent months during the enterprise to keep its records secret. So I guess the governor, Kate Brown, ordered the release of records, and so they did. And they said it's up to the Oregon legislature to take matters into its own hands. At least the board should be required to do studies to see, how many people get fucked up again. For a final word here, here's a woman named Heidi Lowry.
Yeah.
She shopped at the Harvest Market Thriftway for 10 years, and she said this whole thing was a very emotional experience. She said, you're walking into a place you're used to walking into every single day. Does no one plan ahead in this town?
Every single day?
I feel like it's the social centers. They just go there because it's a place, maybe. But now you know the pain that went on just past those front doors. It hits very close to home. She says you don't expect something like this to happen anywhere. You especially don't expect it in a small town like this. There you go.
That's our credo. Man.
That's everything. That's why that's the show, everybody. And that is the story of Joshua Lee Webb. Holy shit, that's fucking insane. That's a wild story.
And he's never getting out.
I would hope not. I mean, it seems like he's fucking crazy. I mean, it seems like he was getting progressively crazier. So I don't know if this is really just taking hold of him at that point. He was fighting it. Who knows how long he was fighting this for and trying to keep these thoughts under wraps, or maybe they hit him all at once. I don't know. It's crazy to think about.
At bay for so long.
It's all you can do. You can only keep Joe Buck and Chris and Troy Aikman that, a secret for so long. So if you like that show, tell everyone about it, please.
Please do.
Post on social media, tell your friends, and give a review on the show. Whatever app you're listening on, it helps. Give us 5 stars and say something nice. Doesn't matter what you say. Say what your favorite produce is. We don't care. Say what
they're better than Troy and Joe.
Say what section of the grocery store you think is the best for attempted murder. We don't care. It just helps drive the show up the charts. So thanks for helping us out all year last year and this year.
You're amazing.
Too. Yeah. Thank you so much. Head over to shutupandgivememurder.com. New merch up, and most of all, tickets to the entire 2024 tour are up there. It's only 12 cities, and we're not adding any more. So get your tickets right now. They're going very fast. Tickets for shows in November and December are already almost gone. So get your tickets. It'll be Sacramento, San Francisco, Phoenix, Austin, Oklahoma City, Kansas City, Minneapolis, Milwaukee, Durham, Nashville, Terrytown, Boston. Those are the cities. So come on in there and come see us. We cannot wait. We have some good shit lined up for you, some good shows. Going to be fun. ShutUpAndGiveMeMurder.com, Patreon.com/crime and sports. You get all your bonus material. Anybody $5 a month or above, you're going to get everything you can ask for, all the bonus material, a couple hundred episodes to binge on right away. New ones every other week. This week, Small Town Earth for Crime and Sports, which you'll have access to. We're going to talk about players with disabilities.
Yes.
Think Jim Abbott, one hand throwing a no-hitter. Shit like that.
Who made the clubhouse ADA compliant?
That's what I mean. Who needed a ramp and why? We'll talk about that. Then for Small Town Murder, we're going to talk about Gypsy Rose Blanchard. She's out of prison. She's got a new boyfriend with a very, very fitting and hilarious front license plate here, which is just... a boyfriend of hers should never have this license plate. We'll put it that way.
Shit.
Very interesting. We'll talk about all of that, and you'll also get a shout out at the end of the regular show. That's patreon.com/crime and sports. Follow us on social media. What is it? At Small Town Murder on Instagram. You'll find us everywhere else. Do that. Keep going. Follow us. Hang out with us. Tell all your friends. And until next week, everybody, it's been our pleasure.
Bye.
If you like Small Town Murder, you can listen early and ad-free now by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts. Prime members can listen early and ad-free on Amazon Music. Before you go, tell us about yourself by filling out a short survey at Wondery.com/survey.
In the 1980s, a rosé swept the country.
Hey, Mike, I really like this White Zinfandel.
Well, good. Now put it down. I'm going to try another one.
White Zin became America's top-selling wine. But most don't know that this sweet drink has a sour history. What began in 1986 with counterfeit bottles,
a big fraud, a multi-million-dollar fraud,
sent investigators chasing one of the most powerful families in the business, the Licciardis. But the closer the feds got to them, the more dangerous things became. It's a story of deceit.
At the time, I was paranoid.
Threats.
You touch my kids, I will kill you.
And murder.
With a .22 caliber bullet to the head.
What started with a scheme to mislabel wine spilled into a blood-soaked battle for succession. Welcome to Bloodvines. You can binge listen to Bloodvines exclusively and ad-free on Wondery Plus. Join Wondery Plus in the Wondery app, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify.